Good evening, guys. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? I hope everybody are having a awesome day. I want you guys to welcome you in to tonight's live stream. I'm super excited to be here with you guys tonight. You guys don't know who I am. My name is Donnell Lovely, and I help small business owners keep more of their money in their pocket by increasing their cash flow, decreasing their taxes, also planning for their retirement as well. So, guys, welcome to tonight's call. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on all the social at Donnell Lovely, or you can follow our business page at Refund Tax Solution, where we actually there to book calls, do strategy sessions, do assessments, and all your financial services needs, where it's taxes, insurance, credit, business funding. We do it all. So we want to make sure that we got you excellently prepared to actually rule the day. So, and today we're actually going to be doing the day one of the 21-day live challenge that I was challenged to by one of my coaches. It said, go live for 21 days. And he said, dude, see what happens. So I said, okay, I'm going to go live for 21 days and see what happens. But now I want to actually give value because in these 21 days, we're actually talking about the topic of the month. This is financial literacy month, right? And what that means is we got to understand how to educate our community on the power of money, on the power of savings, on the power of retirement, on the power of understanding about their taxes, on to understand about how credit works and how to utilize it, and also about the changes that's going on in different economies. So over these 21 days, I'm going to give you different types of strategies and techniques so you can use to be able to be more educated and also implement some of the strategies that I want to talk about in order for you to actually be successful in your business as well as your personal life. All right. So, guys, I wanted to welcome you guys in. If you guys coming in on the replay, I want you to hit replay in the comments, and I want you to share this out to some other people that you may know that may need some of this information. And so, on today's topic, I was actually talking about how to live a tax-free life in 2023. And I'm looking at you say, Donnell, what do you mean by living a tax-free life in 2023? I work a job, I got to pay taxes. I'm self-employed, I got to pay taxes. I'm this, I'm that. What do you mean by that, right? And so what I wanted to do, guys, I wanted to actually go into the different types of taxes, the different types of ways to be able to utilize it, and a different type of entity structures that you want to be able to do so that you understand what are you, okay? And so from a perspective of a federal perspective on going back all the way down into a state perspective, okay? And so in today's, I wanted to actually talk about, again, how to be living a tax-free life, right? So I actually had a client come into my office about 2 weeks ago, and the guy was he's a real estate investor, and he had about 16 properties. He also had a management company, and he also had a construction company. So he was managing a lot of stuff, right? And the problem was he wasn't keeping up with his books, right? He had money coming in, but the money was going out, and he didn't know where to see where his money was going, right? And so, yeah, he was making money, but as fast as he was making it, was actually leaving, right? Because he was doing construction properties, he was doing rehabs, he was going over budget with the contractors. He didn't know what the contractors were doing. They was late on timelines. A lot of these things was happening all because he didn't have his estimates right, right? He was paying properties that the material cost was delayed. So it was a lot of stuff like that was prolonging his finances. And when you actually come and look at it, he made money on paper, but then he really couldn't see it in his pocketbooks because it was going. So what we did an analysis. We wanted to find out what is his key performance indicators. And what that means is, what are your KPIs that you want to measure in order to figure out where you are, right? So if you want to say, okay, I want to understand my KPIs and my processes for my inventory. And then you start tracking those things. But always to understand that you must start somewhere. It must start where you are to actually understand where you want to be. What does that mean? Whatever your finances are right now, Let's start there and put a game plan together and say, in the next 12 months, in the next 18 months, I want to be here, right? If I'm at 100,000, I want to be at 250, right? If I'm at 250, I need to be at 500. If I'm at 5, I need to be at 750 or something like that. Wherever you are, if I'm at 50,000, I might want to go to 60. What is that KPI? What are you doing? What do you need to do? Who do you need to become in order to get to that next level, right? And one of the things that people don't take, they know about, but they don't really understand is the biggest bill that you always will get as a self-employed individual is a tax bill if you don't structure it right. Why? Because it's 3 types of incomes. You have earned income, you have passive income, and you have portfolio income. And let's break that down so you can understand what those are and what they mean. Earned income is you earn a job. You earn, right? You earn a job. You go to work. You work for it. You exchange some type of time, money, or you sell a product, and you earn it. You earn money. You do a commission. You selling something. That's earned income. Okay, that's earned income, right? Or then you have portfolio income, where I buy a stock, right, and then 2 months later it doubles. I sell it, and then I actually have what's called capital gains. That is another type of form of taxes where you actually going to be paying more in the capital gains for the short term. You have a short term and a long term capital gains, right? So that's portfolio income. And then what you have is passive income, and that means it's cash flow, right? So you have a property that you're getting money for over and over and over again, but you don't have to sell that asset and to be able to keep making money. And the more you do that, or the more you actually use that property to make more money, or to use that asset to make more assets, you're now not getting in a situation where you're creating some kind of earned income. And so the more passive income you have, the less income you actually have to pay, right? And so what does that mean from our perspective, right? What does that mean from our perspective? So in order for us to be able to identify some key performance indicators in our life, in our business, we gotta ask our questions is, if we're doing activities that's not allowing us to either write it off or to actually increase the cash flow in it, then we need to change some things, right? And so what does that mean? So that means is if I'm Donnell Lovely and I'm working for, just say, a restaurant or something like that, and I'm working a W-2 or whatever like that, I can actually now take myself and incorporate myself. And also, with the money that I do there and I pay tax on that, I can actually loan it to this other corporation. I can actually rent out a portion of my house for them, charge them a rent. A lot of these things that I'm doing that I can actually do in order to be able to reduce taxes to almost zero. And that's the goal, right? So one person always asks, I've seen this on another influencer site, said, what is the biggest refund in the world? And people have a dollar amount or things like that. And the professor said, hey, what do you think the largest amount of refund you can get? The best amount of refund, not the largest, the best refund you can get. And the answer was zero, right? Because if you don't, you really just giving a interest-free loan to the government for about 12 months, and then you get your money back, right? But if you put yourself in different scenarios, for as incorporating yourself to yourself, being able to use your everyday assets and your everyday transactions and actually switch them from personal to business, right? So for instance, if you're actually going to have, say, you're going to have a birthday party, or your kids have a birthday party, right? Hire your kids in your own corporation, right? Hire your kids in your corporation that you own yourself, employ them, and now they have the company pay them. And that whole thing is a tax write-off. Can be like a board meeting or educational meeting. If you're actually doing something on, say, a Saturday, and you want to have everybody gather together, you can say, hey, we're going to learn about, A, B, and C for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to celebrate after that, 5-10 minutes. We're going to show you a video or something educational, a part of the business. Then we're actually going to go ahead and proceed with the proceeds. And now that whole transaction becomes a tax deductible, right? So we just need to shift the way we're thinking, because now at the end of the year, you get all your money back and your tax liability is zero, even if you did work a job. So even if you did work a job, you still be able to be tax zero. So this is now getting into more of the tax planning phase, the financial planning phase, understanding that. And now being able to take your money and to put it into other assets like real estate, like understanding how to make money online, how to actually use real estate to be able to start other businesses, getting your credit score where it needs to be to get loans, then to actually buy into the real estate. So now you don't really have to work for money. You can go and create it, right? You can actually leverage your knowledge, your intellectual property, and start being able to create these assets, right? You want to create these assets over liabilities and have the asset pay for your liability. So your name, incorporating your name to yourself is the first step in that process. And then now I want to actually segue into the types of structures you can have, right? So the types of structures you can have as an individual in the United States is a sole proprietorship. That's one structure. A partnership. That's another structure. A limited liability corporation. That's another structure, or a corporation from an S corp or C corp status. Those are sort of the main distinctions of that, right? And so I want to break down what people see. Well, you know, hear a lot of people say, get an LLC, get an LLC. Well, I'm a single member, I'm a multi-member LLC, and we want to make sure we understand that is on a state level, right? That's on a state level where you actually get those entity selections and being able to have those type of things, right? But from a federal perspective, even if you're an LLC single member, you're still disregarded unless you do some type of election, and you're still going to be taxed as a sole proprietorship. This is why you have to pay. That's why you got to file your business on your personal taxes, because you are a disregarded entity. If you are a two-member LLC, you are defaulted as a partnership. And based on the amount of ownership, then you actually have to be a partnership, right? And then the partnership have its own rules and designations and laws about a partnership that you must abide by. So that's a defaulted entity already. If you're two people, you're a partnership. If you don't have some type of designation from the federal, then you're a partnership. You can have a two-member LLC that's on a state level, but it's disregarded as a partnership on a federal level. Okay, and so these are some of the things that you want to know when it's actually time to first get funding, get doing your taxes, how to do them properly, how to reduce your taxes, what are you paying for, what are you writing off, things like that, and having the plan ahead to be able to position yourself in a position to reap the benefits of these, right? So I had a client before that were owed about $72,000 in tax, right? And they was going to owe it before the end of the year, right? So we did a quarterly review. We're like, man, at this rate, you're going to owe about $72,000 in taxes. What can I do? Well, we had to set up a plan, a strategy for you to actually shift over your money, build another corporation, loan that money to the corporation, and now you was able to defer that money, right? So just do those different types of strategies that you can use to be able to do that. Or you got to buy a property, or it's some other things that you can do too. It's about 30, 40 different types of strategies that you can use to reduce your tax liability. But the bottom line is, I was able to reduce her tax liability about $60,000. So yes, she had to pay about 10, but from a $70,000 to a 10 is about good as you're going to be able to get. Now, we always want to be able to have a zero, but at the rate that you have in the type of business that you do, you will have some kind of instance that you're going to have to pay. But the majority of the time, you're good to go, right? So we got the 21-day challenge. We're doing a lot of financial education. I wanted to go over some of the simple steps that we wanted to make sure we do, so you can be living a tax-free life in 2021. So let's, for instance, your birthday comes up. If you incorporate yourself and your birthday comes up, now instead of having a birthday party that's a personal liability, you can have a mastermind, right? You can invite your friends and families over, and you can talk about whatever your business is. for about an hour or so. And then you can actually go after that and start celebrating your business. And now the business can write all the stuff off. Now your birthday party is an expense for you and your business. And now you can live in your tax-free life. Your travels, right? If you want to go traveling, if you have if you book it correctly, your entire trip can be a tax write-off. And the way you do that is being able to have if you know book something, book a business event on a Friday and a Monday, and in between those two times, the weekend, it doesn't really matter what you do. So you can have a trip for a Friday and a Monday, and in between, all of the whole entire trip can be written off. So you can be out there for about 2 hours on a Monday. You're gonna see another property on a Friday, and the whole time you there, you rest of the day, you chilling on the beach, you at the vacation spot, you doing whatever, and the entire thing is considered a tax business, ordinary and necessary for business purposes. So now your lifestyle can now become tax free, and now you can be able to get in the position where you always want to be able to do is signing yourself to yourself. Sign yourself to yourself. And when you sign yourself to yourself, then that's what being able to take advantage of the things that you're gonna already do. And that's the key. Like let's be honest. Like now when I go on trips, I make sure if I'm going on a trip or if I'm going somewhere, if I gotta go somewhere, I want to have something that's gonna be happening either on the day before or the day after, so I can have all that time written off, or if I'm gonna do something, I'm making sure I'm on a call. I'm doing something scheduled in between the times, or in between the times that I'm actually going out for a trip or an event or anything, right? And a lot of the mastermind events, a lot of these training events, all these training events are considered tax deductible because you're actually it's necessary, ordinary, necessary for your business. So a lot of these conventions and seminars and things like that, you can actually do those things, and now because it's part of what you got going on in your business, it can be an expense for you, right? So, guys, that's all I got for today. I hope this was helpful. My name is Donnell Lovely. I help small business owners increase their cash flow, decrease their taxes, what high-level tax planning strategies, and I am the guy that's actually going to help you retire rich. So, here are the things that I want to talk about in the next 21 days. Stay tuned for the next day that we're going to get into it. We're going to be talking about some real life scenarios in the next couple of days. So I'm super excited, guys. That's all I got for today. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. If you need some help with any of things from a tax perspective to understanding how to set up your corporations, how to get your business in a way that you can actually be lived tax-free for the 2023, then reach out to us. Shoot us a DM, schedule a consultation. We'll book you on a calendar, and we'll get you in. All right, guys. I hope you all have an awesome, awesome evening. It was a pleasure to be able to assist you in here. And that's it. But like I said, if you got any questions, I'll be in the chat. I can't see anything right now while I'm on this live stream, but after that, then I'll be able to get on there. But I hope you all had a awesome, let me see if I can see something. Nobody. Okay, nobody didn't put something in there. So cool.